read a few of these out because we want you to feel bad along with us. Hi, I'm Melony.
Hi, I'm Molly, and welcome to our channel.
Today, I hope y'all have noticed that the ampersand is sort of centered in the frame.
Yeah, and one little flower fell off, and so I fixed it. I put it right back on.
Yeah.
It should be stable.
But apparently that was bothering several of you, as it was bothering us.
But how kind that they never said anything.
They're not a complaining bunch, are you?
You only said, oh, thank goodness you fixed it. You never said, what's wrong with y'all?
Yeah. And we noticed it, but it was always after.
I know.
And we're like, oh my goodness, we need to fix that.
We only think about it when we either come in or after, and you're just like, we showed up.
Yeah. So that's fixed. There'll probably be other things in the future we need to fix. But we're glad y'all are here today, and thank y'all for liking and subscribing and being a part of things. It means a lot to us.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, and I hope you believe it, but we really see y'all's personality. Just those of you that comment, I just feel like each comment, I'm like, oh, of course she said that. Or, yes, she is so encouraging every time she writes anything. Or this one always has a good question or a good addition or comment to add. It's just nice. It's nice to see.
I will say, though, when I read the comments, in my head, they always have an East Texas twang, unless it's Flossie, because I know that Flossie says she's from Australia. So if you specifically mention a part and I see your name, I try to think of it. But otherwise, I feel
it sounds like that in your mind.
Yeah, I feel like I'm over at a friend's house and they're saying, thank goodness you fixed that frame behind you. That was driving me crazy.
Yeah. Well, in the last few weeks, I would say we lost just a few subscribers, and Molly and I were talking about that, and we think maybe it's because we did kind of start off doing makeup and hair and all, and it's not that we don't like makeup and hair anymore.
And we still may do those very things.
Yeah, we'll do it, and we've done some clothes stuff and all now, but we have discovered that really we just like to get together and talk and hash over issues, things that are different in our lives that are handled different generationally, would you say?
Oh, yeah, just personality. I don't know. We just get together and chit chat and I'm so comfortable to share my life with her, and so it just seems natural when I have something going on to talk about it.
So we don't have anything planned really, but I was so glad that I heard that the Tessa Afshar, we did a Tessa Afshar book giveaway and I'm going to hold it up so you can see. I have just fallen in love with this author and I gave away a book to one of my friends last week, and then I finished this one. I have just been reading like crazy. I read fast, but if you gave me a quiz on it, I would probably fail. I don't retain things the way I should. Either. But I just thought today, this was a good book, and this is what I want to tell you about this book, is that if you have any issues of forgiveness, about forgiving people, if that is a problem in your life, or it's been a struggle, you forgive someone you think, and then you turn around and remembering how they wronged you. If you're just...
I would have said this. I wish I could go back and just say that.
Or it's just a constant battle. And it was something that definitely was an offense to who you are. This book was about that. And it's in regard to a character in the Bible that probably just has a sentence and there's no name attached to her. So I'm not going to, you can probably read it on there.
But I read it because now I'm interested. Maybe I need to read this.
I don't read the back covers because I like just learning the characters as I turn the page.
But I always read the back covers.
I don't. And see, like Bob, when he picks a movie. Oh, anyway, hang on.
Okay.
Did that Bob? If you would be interested, if this is something that you would like to read, again, I want to send this to somebody. So just leave a comment below and I'm not going to be judging on what you say or don't say. But if you leave a comment, I'm going to assume, unless you say otherwise, that you might be interested, and I'll mail it to you, because it's good. And this is what I have learned. If I don't pass good things on to people, then they just sit in a pile at my house. And what good is it doing?
What good?
So this is what I was going to say. When Bob and I are watching shows, he will read the description. I don't want to read the description.
Well, then how do you know you're interested?
I will watch the trailer. You know, it'll give you that option to watch the trailer.
Yeah.
And it kind of pulls you in. But sometimes the description says, you know, so-and-so's brother was murdered and the whatever. And I'm like, oh, they tell too much.
Yeah, and you're like, I would rather have just learned it and not known.
Yeah,
like,
in an organic way. I would rather it just unfold.
I'm one of those, Mom, who will start a book, and about halfway through or so, I may just go ahead and flip it back to a few pages and read a few things, and then go, and then just keep reading it, even though I might have read a few things at the end.
No.
Oh, yes, I have done it. And I have never stopped reading a book just because I've done that. I still read a book.
Oh, no.
Oh, the anticipation, sometimes I just can't wait.
That is so funny. I would never do that.
I did read a book recently. I do love to read, but I don't read often because of Hattie and work, and we're just in that season of life. And I really think every now and then, I've mentioned this to Jonathan, that there would be a night I would like to have where we don't do any TV shows or anything, you know, that we, you know, Hattie can read and I can read and he can read, and we really haven't gotten on that. Jonathan's not a big reader, even though he does have a couple of books he wants to read. But recently I did read a book, and it was about this like a boarding school, and there was like a murder out there, and it was like a whodunit, and I loved it. It was good.
Yeah. I can't read a lot of gory, murderous.
Well, it wasn't gory, but yes,
things, because I don't like going to bed at night, and that is all in my mind on who killed who, or one of those things that are so suspenseful or so violent. I don't. But
it was
I love
just a good whodunit.
I love a good mystery.
Yeah.
You know, Nancy Drew's good.
Yeah.
And
was Cherry Ames? She was a nurse.
She was a nurse, but it seemed like there was always a little mystery. Oh, and then there was this author, Diana Mott Davidson, I think, and all of her mysteries, she was a caterer. And so as you read the story, she talks about chopping the food and the recipes, and I love that. Although I've never tried one recipe or anything. I just loved, you know, she'd be thinking about the mystery, and then she would be bringing the chocolate to a swirly, melty.
You're gonna make my stomach growl.
Yes.
Would you get hungry when you're reading it? You're just like, I think I need to read this with a little snack.
Yes, and she lived in Colorado, so that was so different. You know, this character lived in Colorado. And so that was so enjoyable to me as she loaded up her catering truck with all of these special dishes and went to these events and everything. Those were good mysteries, and her titles were funny. Like, I don't know if this may be some other author, but it was like The Last Supper and
that was Jesus.
Yes.
God was the author of that one.
Yeah, but you know, there was something. There was
like strawberry cheesecake, or maybe it was,
I don't know. She
played on food.
It was a play on the words with food. Yeah. Food. It was a play on food words.
I'm trying to think if there's something that could go with risotto.
Risotto. That would make me think too hard right now. I don't have it in me.
I know. I'm not getting anywhere with it.
So this morning we had Connect group at church, and I thought we had some interesting discussion.
Yeah.
We started off this morning, and I am working out of a book called Saints and Scoundrels in Jesus' Time, and it's by Nancy Guthrie. And it's been very interesting, but we talked about a topic today that I told them, I said, we got to start on time today. I've been studying my lesson all week, and it's just ouchy. It just stepped on my toes over and over and over again. And the subject was being a hypocrite.
It was the worst.
It was. It was because it just. Anyway, I thought we would read a few of these out because we want you to feel bad along with us.
I know, because all of us, when someone would read the card that you wrote out,
yes,
you kind of are looking to see who's going, oh, oh, they got me.
And when we laugh, it's not a silly laugh. It's like, oh, Lord, I need to work on that.
Yeah.
But the first one, these are some of the things that I had written out on cards, and they were out of her book. And so I thought we would just throw these out there to you and you think on them. But it says, if you have ever said, I will pray for you, and didn't actually pray, you might be a religious hypocrite.
And she was talking about Jeff Foxworthy, when he does his little, you might be a redneck.
Yeah.
Just like the Bible.
This is the biblical version.
Convicting version, yeah.
Yes, because have you ever said that you'll pray for someone, and the moment you said it, you really meant it, but then a few weeks later, they'll see you and they'll say, thanks for praying for me, and you're like, oh, you're welcome, and you realize, oh, I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all you're going to say about it?
Well, I remember years ago, that was a big conviction of mine, and so first of all, I won't say I'll pray for you unless I really am committed to doing it. Because there are times where people would request that, and I would just think, oh, you always have, I'm always praying for you, darling, or whatever,
Oh, you had a prayer limit.
Like there would just be this, you would see that person, and you're like, oh, what are we praying for now? Like, we're always praying for you, And I'm not saying it's good.
No,
I'm confessing.
Yeah, this is an honest conversation,
it's very honest,
y'all.
And so I try to get to a point where I first would not say it unless I was committed to it. And now you're like, okay, if I'm praying for you, then I'm praying for you now. Like if I get a text message, if I see it through our group thing, I'm like, okay, I'm praying for you. If I think about you, just throughout the week, I will stop and pray instead of just thinking about you. I'll take it to the Lord.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, I took it to the Lord, and the Lord knows that maybe my mind is also somewhere else, but I'm bringing this to Him, and I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I
struggled with it for years, similar things, and people would say, would you pray for me? And I finally learned, this was my hesitation. I thought, yes, I want to pray for you. I did not feel comfortable in years ago praying out loud. That was something I had to, it's terrible to say practice to get better, but you're having a conversation with God, with someone else, and for so many years that was so private to me. Well, it is personal, but it doesn't have to be private, I learned. And so I began to think of that as a real conversation with God, and quit worrying so much about how it sounded or if my words were pretty or whatever, and just really talk to God. And so when people said, would you pray for me? I started saying, yes, I will. Can I pray for you right now? And even that was sort of a step for me, because sometimes you'd be in the mall, or you'd be at a baseball game or something.
An estate sale.
Yeah, an estate sale. And I just learned it was okay. It was okay to just say, yes, let's pray for that right now. And I just took it to the Lord right then. And I just knew He would take it from there. Mm-hmm. The other thing I did that, y'all laughed when I said this in small group this morning, but I felt so guilty about how many times this happened in my younger days when people would ask for prayer. I finally bought a whiteboard and I put it in my bathroom, because I thought, Lord, you know where I sit in here, and this is going to be directly across from me, and what better time to see somebody's name. No, I don't think I shared that with a lot of...
Well, you said in my comings and goings, and I'm in there a lot, and you're like, literally in my comings, and she does not talk like that typically. She never talks about the bathroom.
I do come and go out of there quite often, and so I just thought, what better place to be constantly reminded? And so I think the people that ended up on the whiteboard got actually more prayer time than the ones that I just prayed for immediately. But I don't have a whiteboard in the bathroom right now. I have to say I miss it. I miss it. I may have to go back to that. But anyway, that was about being hypocritical. So y'all throw in your 2 cents on that. Tell us what you think about that. How do you handle it when somebody asks for prayer? How do you handle that? I bet there's some good suggestions.
Oh, and I bet we've got some subscribers who are like probably prayer warriors. You know, those people that you think of that are just like, yeah, I'm taking it to the Lord right now.
Okay, which one of these should we go to next? You read one that you want to.
I know that the card that I read this morning that you gave me,
yeah,
it had it had this one. If you've ever used the phrases like "the Lord led us" or "God told me" simply to make your choice sound more spiritual, you might be a religious hypocrite. And I know that it is a tricky thing because people already, I mean, I think we can all agree that discerning God's will for each of us brings about its own challenges and questions. And is that really, am I discerning the Lord? Am I discerning myself? Am I just, I mean, it can be a lot. So I think that since it's already a challenge, you don't want it to sound like I'm making a selfish decision and I'm going to say that God's leading us here or God's leading us to do this
And I think sometimes I have probably said that and really I wasn't mature enough to know that wasn't the Holy Spirit leading me. It was my own feelings.
I was just hungry.
Yeah, and so I just added that to it, and it just
because in that moment I didn't feel the Lord saying no. So in that moment I'm like, well then,
yeah,
I have a peace about it, Yeah, but I haven't really. Actually,
yeah, because it's not true.
Yeah,
it wasn't true. That's a lie, and so that's being hypocritical.
Yeah.
This one is if you have ever posted something on social media hoping that viewers or your friends or family will think you are more virtuous or more compassionate or more woke or more with it, then you really might be a religious hypocrite. Do you think we mainly post wonderful things about ourselves on social media in general, everybody.
Because who wants to post, I just yelled at my kid this morning and thought, Lord, why can't I get that together and be slow to anger like you tell me to and quick to listen and like who wants to say that?
And then I think sometimes we get so caught up like in the Bible tells us we're more worried about pleasing men than we are about pleasing Him. And when you scroll through people's posts and you're seeing, oh, their kid did this, and oh, what a party, and look how they decorated, and oh, new home, oh, new floor, and all those things, then sometimes maybe we get sucked into feeling like we need to post something impressive to just kind of go along with everything. And it's not authentic and not genuine.
I'll tell you the ones that I tend to not like the most.
What?
Are when people are telling me what I need to do or telling me we should all be more this or I encourage you to read this and know blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, I'm not listening to you. You're not my boss. Turns me off. Now, it's one thing if they say, oh, I needed to read this today because this is something that I've struggled with or I've had, and it's more personal. But when I just put it out there like, you should do this. You should be more aware of this. You should try this. You should change your family night to look more, anything. If it's you, then I'm out. But if it's y'all.
See, there's the difference in us. Well, no, and I think it's probably a good difference because you're like, oh no, don't be telling me. And
the Lord's already working on things. Obviously, y'all can see that. I have other issues the Lord needs to take care of.
And I'm probably like, oh dear, what? I'm probably not aware. I'm probably not doing that good. I'm probably, let me add that to the list.
I'm like, I think that blog was for you, so and so. You just read it.
Okay. Is there any other good ones? Because what if that we're coming across like we're preaching at them and telling them you this or you that?
No, let me tell you, I've got my own issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Lord is working on, and I was telling Mom earlier.
Read that
okay,
one.
Sorry, which one?
And then you
can
jump.
Oh yeah, no, this one stung. This one stung because the Lord and I, we've talked about this. It says, if you have judged others for their judgmental attitudes and actions, you might be a religious hypocrite.
Oh.
And I think back to the scripture where it's like, you want to be judged how you're judging others? I'm like, Lord, no. No, I don't. God, I don't. Help me know what discerning and wisdom is versus judgment. And not showing mercy, because I'm not naturally, that's not my spiritual gift is mercy, but I don't believe that means I'm not held accountable in that area.
Yeah.
Just because that's not my natural spiritual gift. And then people who are super merciful, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, somebody's got to stand up and say something, and you're just out here just throwing mercy, or, I feel like the Lord gives us wisdom and discernment. And yes, I have to have those, and I have to show mercy, and I'm a little scared, to be honest, about the ways I will be judged because of how I have judged others.
It's just something to think about. It really is.
Yeah.
Here's one that says, if you've ever been glad to be observed donating money to your church or doing a mission project or a GoFundMe page for a particular cause, you might be a religious hypocrite. If you've ever been glad to be observed,
I think
that's the key words to that, because there's nothing wrong with any of those things. But I think it's if your delight is in the being observed more than your delight is in the giving, then that's pretty hypocritical. Let me say something, and it might be a little, but because when I say this, I'm saying it to myself as a reminder, and I'm scrolling back through some of my actions and just like, oh, Lord, forgive me if I have done this. But yesterday on social media, I saw someone do a very nice act for someone in our community. The problem that I felt with it was that they had done this very nice act for someone, that they had taken a selfie and said, look what I have done for someone in the community, and had them and the person who was in dire straits in the picture. And I just thought, oh, there's your reward. You got your reward right there. You're on Facebook with your picture. But I just thought, I don't want to have that attitude where I am just, y'all look at me do something good, where my delight and is all about having people see me do those kinds of things.
I can think of people in my life that, not because they've shown it to me or put it right in front of my face, but that I have observed naturally that they did not realize be giving or generous or sacrifice their time, their labor, whatever it is, and I have been encouraged through that to do the same. So I can understand if you're trying to encourage others, or if you have a passion for a ministry and you're like, y'all, God has given me a passion for this ministry. If you guys find that same conviction or draw to this ministry, then join me. There's a difference between
I agree with that. Yeah, because we do want people to know that there are causes.
Yeah.
I like to know, there's so-and-so's cause, and that is a good one. I want to come on board.
Exactly.
But where is that line where it becomes like it's not about the cause anymore? It's about people noticing that you are leading the charge for the cause. And I'm sure I've made this mistake in my past. I think many of us have. I hope I haven't done it intentionally, but that's what I love about coming together on Sunday morning, is just discussing those things. And one of the concepts, I guess, that we'll probably get to next week is when you give, true giving the blessing of, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, is when you give to someone who can do no favor for you back.
Mm-hmm.
They can give you no kudos, no pats on the back. They cannot give you a jump up the ladder in any way or pay you back a favor. When you are just giving and you know that it is just, that there's the gift, that you expect nothing in return from that person. Yeah. That is a gift, and it doesn't rely on anybody seeing that it happened, hearing that it happened, knowing that it happened, and that you're the one who did it. And even if someone else got credit for it, that you could keep your mouth closed and just say, I'm so glad that need got met.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of work to do.
I know. And I know that there have been times in the past that Jonathan and I have talked about, maybe an opportunity for generosity or whatever. And just knowing that my human nature and my desire to judge and go, okay, so we really want to try to do this, but have you seen, maybe the clothes that they dress in? Or, I'm just talking about like human nature.
Making judgment calls.
And then having to go, Lord, that's not up to me. If you're telling us that we need to be generous in this opportunity, I need to just know that I, Molly Horn or Jonathan Horn or whatever, that we are doing the right thing that honors and glorifies you, and it has nothing to do with where it's going. And they don't have to be accountable to me, they're accountable to you.
Yeah.
And that's hard because I think we've just talked about how it would be, I am a judgy person.
Well, it reminded me what a hypocrite I am.
Yeah.
I am. And we went to church this morning. We sat in a connect group with a bunch of hypocrites, and we love each other.
And I'd like to say, in my past, I'm sure in my past I've done that, but the Lord has redeemed me from that. But honestly, y'all, every season.
I have said that in the past, like the prayer thing. There's some things I feel like the Lord has given me victory over, and that's not one of my issues. But there's a whole list there, y'all.
And we don't want to talk about all of them.
Yeah, right? We don't. But church is full of hypocrites,
and
we're part of it.
We are, and if you are not going to service, going to your church because all church are full of hypocrites, well, let me tell you, we are. We are. I don't want to be.
Don't let a hypocrite come between you and being with the Lord.
And the Lord,
Gosh, we're preaching this morning.
Well, and it's not to anybody. I'm just, the Lord is. Yeah, He's been convicting me of different things in my life. And I just want to say that you can look at me and go, man, she needs to work on this. And you're probably right, I do. But I can also say, the Lord hadn't gotten there with me yet. He's got other things. And I'm trying to stay with Him because He's prioritizing. And what you're seeing in me that needs worked on, it might be a little bit lower than what you think it should be. But
I don't know.
But I agree. I can agree with anybody. Yes, I've got some work to do.
But He's a good God. We're works in progress.
And I'm encouraged and hopeful. Like, it's not to say, Satan's not going to drown me in this because the Lord has given, He redeems us.
Well, I hope I said that this morning. I didn't want everybody to leave like downtrodden and all, because we have a God
I think we all connected knowing that.
We have a God that will help us, that lives within us, that will bring us to a new thing and a new attitude. So So wow, we got deep today.
I know it's so good though, your lessons.
Well, that was.
The Lord uses you. I'm not trying to make it where you feel like you've got to.
Oh well, it's His word, so it's good. It's good stuff.
But your spiritual gift is teaching.
Well, I do enjoy it because I love His word. But thank you on that. And thank you all for coming today and just doing a deep dive into this, and maybe just something to think about in your lives, or talk over if you're driving down the road with your spouse or your kids or whatever. It's just good to think about.
Yeah, it's real good to think about.
Well, and then do something about it.
How are you a hypocrite?
Yeah, are you a hypocrite?
You having a hard time thinking of it? Because I can come up with a few.
Oh, goodness. It's good to laugh. We hope we see you back on the next video. Bye.
Bye, y'all. Maybe in the next video we do need to do makeup or something after that.
That was so... Was that too serious?
No, I think people who will enjoy it, and people who are like, well, this isn't for me, will click off.
Like, well, who do they think they are?
And you know,
Sister Mel and Sister Molly?
Some days I feel like I'm limping by, so it's not yeah, I got...
Well, it's good.
This
good. Stepped all over my toes all week, so...
I know.
I'm going to go home, and I'm just going to... I started saying I'm going to take a nap, but I've got a chair that I'm painting, and I may show it. I'm painting a chair. Okay. I'm not talking about a wooden chair. I'm talking about a fabric chair.
Oh, I've always wondered how that works.
And I'm trying
like how
it, and so far, I'm happy.
What about the thing that's in your garage that has powder in it? What is that?
That is a jewelry
How long has it been there?
It had a little bit of a smoky smell, so I've let it air out. And Hattie came through the other day. Did you already hear this?
Well, I remember when we walked in, I didn't know if you heard it. She's like, what is... Man, she goes, man, Cookie sure has a lot of stuff in here.
I've been garage selling so much lately. And I'm going to do a video. I asked my friends Kelly and Pam, and I'll have to see if Sharon will agree. But we've got to make a video about garage sailing.
Yeah.
We have so much fun. But anyway, I've got all of my garage sale treasures there, but it's a jewelry armoire. Mm-hmm. And Hattie came in the other day to the garage, and she's walking. She didn't miss a step. She didn't miss a... She just looked at it and pointed to it, and she said, you need to do something about this girl. It just cracked me up because I thought, you're right.
You're right.
And she's just like, you need to do something about this girl. Because it is. It's full of baking soda.
Oh, that's what it is. I was like, is that laundry detergent?
No, it's baking soda, and it's all aired out. So I'm going to get out there. Yeah, that's one of my projects. I'm going to repaint that.
Oh, my goodness.
I've got all kinds of painting, but I love to do that.
I've already food prepped for the week.
Well, that's good. You're ahead of the game.
I got a lot of work to do this week. Oh, but I get my hair done Tuesday.
Oh, what are you going to do? Something different?
Probably not. I just need to get cut. This has just gotten out of control.
Oh, yeah. Do they?
I think so.
Who knows? Daisy, thanks for coming to Connect Group today.
You're welcome.
We enjoyed having you visit.
Well, I read out your card and I didn't argue, and I did it willingly, because typically I wouldn't want to do that.
Read out loud.
She wouldn't want to participate with
like
her.
Bob.
I tried to pass it on to Jonathan, but he already had one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you did good.
So we switched.
Weren't you proud of yourself for doing it?
Oh,
We swapped.
that's what I'm saying.
Because hers was shorter.
I didn't
she
want
wanted
to
the shorter
do
one.
it, but
And then she probably could have gone and had lunch with the Duras, but she said, no, I got to go Connect Group.
Were they
my
at
mama.
church this morning?
Mm-hmm.
They're
She
involved.
came, yeah.
They're involved, but they haven't rejoined the church yet.
They will soon.
I told them, I'm like, you can't even vote. And she's like, I know, we need to do that.
Oh, wow. What are they involved with?
She's something, I bet you Jan has got them in on something.
Is Molly's face shiny? Is it too shiny?
no.
It's shiny, but not too shiny. Or are you talking about this
Looks-
light?
Oh, sorry, I just touched that.
I don't know, because sometimes the light shining makes it look better. Because you can look older with the light away
I
from
want to
us.
be the most beautifulest that I can possibly be.
Me too.
Is that better?
I don't know. Y'all are the ones. Are y'all going to stand here and hold it while we are light people? While we're... Jonathan, stop.
I think y'all look radiant and spectacular.
This is what I've noticed in my videos. I'll sit like this, and then I talk with my hands, so I have to go.
Mm-hmm.
So
This
I
is
just-
what I noticed in the video. Mom goes, hi, I'm Melony.
Okay, we don't know what we're doing. We're just
We
going.
never know what we're doing.
We're going for
And
it.
I really, really don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I can't even reach that, or I'd have gone through Daisy's stuff.
Here I go.
Okay, well, hold on a second.
I'm doing my lean.
I know, but okay, you gotta pause so I can know when to cut the video to where you go, hi, I'm Melony. You can't be talking about, hi, I'm Melony. You know, blah, 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 and then I have to figure out where to cut it.
So like slow motion.
No, I